The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro. The second to the last day of filing of candidacy saw an increase of applicants for senatorial and party list representative positions. Some of them are familiar names like re-electionists and relatives of well-known politicians. Lia Fernandez with the report.
Former Senator Gringo Honasan was among the first on day 7 to file his certificate of candidacy for senator. This will be his third attempt for the Senate after he lost his re-election bid last year.
I represent a newly formed party, Reform PH, People's Party. We have been fighting for economic reforms, land reform, electoral reforms, social reforms, and even reforms in our spiritual lives. So that's the reason why I have decided to ask for another mandate.
Former Senator Manny Pacquiao is also planning a return to the Senate, running as part of President Bongbong Marcos's Senate slate. In the 2022 elections, when he was gunning for the presidency, Pacquiao warned against voting for a thief, but he now denies that his statements were directed at Marcos over the issue of ill-gotten wealth. Pacquiao even defended the regime of the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.
Hindi naman po nag-criticize ako ng todo sa ating Pangulo. Ang tinanong lang ako ng media noon na about sa korupsyon. Sabi ko kung may ninakaw dapat ibalik. Kung may ninakaw ay ang konstitusyon natin, ang gobyerno natin kailangan ng due process. Imulat natin. Lagi nating sinisisi ang pamilya Marcos pagdating sa korupsyon. Hindi ba natin nakikita na sa panahon ng Marcos, ang bansa natin number 1 sa ekonomiya? May kurap pang bansa na number 1 sa ekonomiya. Sige.
Meanwhile, Senator Bong Revilla, another candidate of the administration, did not entertain questions from the media. Instead, in his post-filing speech, Revilla highlighted his accomplishments in the Senate despite being labeled as Mr. Budots.
While many joined us, some dismissed us as Mr. Budots. Gayunpaman, mapalad po tayong nahalal nun. We filed a total of 1,979 bills and resolutions, with 339 of those that have been enacted into law. While we have accomplished so much, work never ceases, and there is still much to be done.
Ben-Hur Abalos has also expressed his readiness to serve in the Senate after his stint as DILG chief for the past 3 years.
Kanya-kanya pong kapalaran yan eh. Ano po? Ang importante lang sa akin sa lahat na nagampanan ko, magmula mayor, magmula congressman, magmula nung COVID time. Ako po ang chairman ng MMDA. Napakahirap dahil kalaban mo nung COVID. Ngayon DILG. Siguro ang importante sa kwento ay maganda yung ending. Iiwan ko ang isang departamento na very cohesive, very united.
In the opposition, Bam Aquino has also submitted his COC for senator alongside Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, who began a movement on good governance. If he becomes a senator again, Aquino believes that having a Marcos as president will not be a hindrance for him despite the well-known political rivalry between their families. Aquino is also confident about their upcoming campaign despite his low ranking in the surveys.
And sabi ko nga, alalahanin lang natin ang lahat ng mga lumabas, tumaya, nagkaboses, tumulong, nag-house to house, nag-abono in the last campaign at more than enough na po yan para may panalo kami ni Senator Kiko.
Retired Colonel Ariel Curubin was also accompanied by Magalong in filing his COC for senator. The Medal of Valor awardee will attempt to secure a seat in the Senate for the second time, carrying the promise to fight for our territorial rights in the West Philippine Sea. Former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson is also eyeing a seat in the upper chamber, promising to hand out debit and credit cards to every adult Filipino and to use his own money to finance the production of thousands of e-jeepneys. Also today, over a dozen party lists filed their certificates of nomination and acceptance or CONAS. Among those is actress Nora Honor, who will be the second nominee of the People's Champ party list. Former COMELEC Commissioner Goyo Larrazabal will stand as the first nominee for the party Bagong Pilipino. They will focus on rural development and reforming election laws. Former Sarangani Vice Governor Jinky Pacquiao is herself aiming for a seat in the House of Representatives. She is the second nominee of the Maharlikang Pilipino sa Bagong Lipunan or MPBL party list. MPBL's first nominee, Ron Munsayak, filed the CONA of the party list earlier today. Meanwhile, another sibling in the Tulfo family, former Tourism Secretary Wanda Teo, will also attempt to enter Congress as a nominee for the Turismo party list. They are just a few among the over 100 party lists that have filed their CONA since October 1 and will compete for 20% or 63 seats in the House of Representatives reserved for party list groups. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Isko Moreno is expected to file his certificate of candidacy today after his announcement yesterday. Para sa update, magbabalita sa atin live si Mobile Journal Julie Baiza. Julie, nakapag-file na ba si Yorme?
Yes, Angela, sa ngayon inaabangan pa ngayong paghahain ng Certificate of Candidacy ni former Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. Kahapon kinumpirma nga ni Moreno yung pagtakbo niya sa pagka-alkalde bilang tugon daw sa panawagan ng mga Manileño. Makakatandem ni Moreno yung broadcaster na si Chi Atienza, anak ni dating Manila Mayor Lito Atienza. Tatakbo si Yorme at Chi sa ilalim ng Aksyon Demokratiko. Dahil dito, kumpirmado na nga, Angela, na 3 yung malalaking maglalaban-laban sa pagka-alkalde dito sa Manila. Nitong weekend, naghain na rin kasi ng COC, si Tutok Tuwin Party List Representative Sam Versosa. Wala siyang running mate. October 3 naman, na mag-file si Manila Mayor Hani Lacuna Paangan at Vice Mayor Yul Serbo na kapwa re-electionist. Bukod kay Yorme, Angela, inaasahan pa or isa pa sa inaabangan na maghahain ng COC yung blogger at social media personality na si Mocha Uson sa pagkakonsehal naman yan at maging yung anak nga ni Yorme na si Joaquin Dumagoso. Angela?
Mga anong oras daw natin maaasahan ng pagpa-file ni Yorme and the rest of his mga kasama sa kanyang slate?
Actually, kanina around 8:30 nagtitipon-tipon na dito yung mga supporters ni Yorme. Kaya ngayong morning, around 9 to 10, inaasahan na makakarating na sila dito. Magkakaroon kasi ng maikling programa muna sa labas, kasama yung kanyang mga supporters, bago pumunta dito at pumasok sa loob nga para sa pag-filing ng COC.
Julie, lihis tayo ng konti. Meron na daw tayong bagong DILG Secretary.
Yes, Angela, kinumpirma na nga ng Malacanang na itinalaga ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos si Cavite Governor John Vic Remulla bilang bagong DILG Secretary. Nakatakda nga manumpa sa tungkulin si Remulla, 9:45 ngayong umaga. Papalitan niya si former DILG Secretary Benher Abalos na nag-file na nga ng COC para tumakbong senador kahapon.
Alright, patuloy kami makikipag-ugnayan sa iyo dyan. Maraming salamat, mobile journalist Julie Baiza. Now, former Senator Gringo Honasan has filed his COC for senator due to, quote, unfinished business. Here's an excerpt from his interview on 1PH sa Totoo Lang.
Nagsimula itong reform party natin 40 years ago. Reform the Armed Forces Movement. Nagbunga ito noong 1986 sa People Power, yung paglahok namin bilang RAM, yung Reform the Armed Forces Movement. So, naghain tayo noon ng package of reforms bilang members ng Sandatang Lakas. Nangyari yung People Power Revolution noong 1986. Tapos 1995, after sunod-sunod na pag-aalsa, lumahok tayo sa senatorial elections at nanalo tayo bilang kauna-unahang independenteng senador sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. So 21 years tayong senador and then nag-cabinet member tayong 2.5 years. So puro reforms ang pinus natin sa pamamagitan ng mga batas na ihinain natin. So yun ang buod nitong pag-file natin ng Certificate of Candidacy under the Reform PH party.
Opo, pero sir, nakikita po natin medyo madami po talaga yung nagpa-file ng kandidatura for Senate. So kumbaga may mga nagsasabi nga baka masyadong masikip. How confident are you, sir, na makakapasok ka pa rin dun sa top 12 despite dun sa dami ng mga naghahain ng kanilang COCs?
Well, unang-una, yung reform PH party natin, may maliwanag na plataforma at programa, no? Hindi ito personality-oriented. May party discipline. Dahil kung masaksihan natin ngayon, bihira ang makita natin na debate, yung public conversation, yung national conversation, na pinag-uusapan yung plataforma at programa. Puro personal, hidwaan, no? Nag-aaway. So, binibigyan lang natin ng karagdagang alternative choice yung ating mamamayan, yung botante. So, confident naman tayo na mapanuri ang electorate at baka sakaling magtagumpay tayo.
Sir, si Chicky Verhel po ito. Nag-usap po ba kayo dun sa macho block before filing? Bakit po today po kayo nag-file?
Well, unang-una, hindi naman tayo kasama dun sa sinasabing administration slate, no? Pero, Chiki, yung macho block, personal ang pagkakaibigan namin. Tapos, we found ourselves. Nagkita-kita kami sa Senado. So, very complementary yung mga batas na hinain namin sa Senado. At personal kaming magkakaibigan. So, kahit saan kami, dalhin ng tadhana, nananatili yung personal pagkakaibigan at na-realize namin na pare-pareho naman pala yung prinsipyo namin, yung pagmamahal sa bayan, at yung concern para sa future ng developing country katulad ng Pilipinas.
Quality time within budget. With Signal Load 175, you can watch more news, free-to-air channels, must-watch shows, movies, and many more for 30 days. What are you waiting for? Get the Signal Load 175 now via Maya or GCash. Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia is expected to file her candidacy for a re-election bid this morning. To get some updates about this, we have One News Cebu Desk Editor Dale Israel on the line. Hey Dale, anong oras ba maghahain ng kanyang COC itong si Governor Gwen Garcia?
Yes, good morning, Angela. We are expecting Governor Gwen Garcia to file her COC at around 10 o'clock this morning. She's seeking re-election, but there is a guessing game now as to who will be her running mate for vice governor. You know that Vice Governor Hilario Junjun Davide III is not a party mate, but it said that he will be running for congressman in the 2nd District of Cebu Province. He will file his COC this afternoon. Now, in Lapu-Lapu City also, Angela, Mayor Jonard Ahong Chan will also file his COC in Lapu-Lapu City this morning for re-election along with his wife, Cindy Chan, who is also seeking re-election. In Cebu City, acting Mayor Raymond Alvin Garcia will have full function as mayor of Cebu City, and that is because the order dismissing suspended Mayor Michael Rama has already been served at the Cebu City Hall. So Rama's camp has filed a petition for certiorari and prohibition before the Supreme Court. That's with an application for issuance of a status quo anti-order and urgent motion for the conduct of a special raffle to assure that his candidacy for city mayor in the midterm elections next year will not be affected by the decision of the Office of the Ombudsman. Garcia was said he was notified by the HR department of the decision of the Ombudsman that was already served the Cebu City Hall. This decision is on dismissing Rama from government service is an accusation on nepotism. Also in Cebu City later, the group of former Mayor Tomas Osmeña will also file their COC. Mayor Osmeña is running for vice mayor, while his ally, Cebu City Councilor Nestor Archival, will be running for mayor under the Banda Osmeña Bundok Kauswagan party of the Osmeñas. Back to you, Angela.
All right, thank you so much, Dale Israel. Now, in other news and weather, Pag-asa continues to monitor a low-pressure area and a tropical depression. Let's get the latest from the weather forecaster, Lori De La Cruz, now on the line. Hey, Lori, nasaan na po ba banda itong LPA at gaano po kalaki yung chance na ito ay maging bagyo?
Magandang umaga mga sa mga kababayan natin. Itong LPA huling nakita sa layong 305 kilometers kanluran ng Coron, Palawan. Pero sa ating analysis, mababa naman ang chance na mabuo ito bilang isang bagyo at posible na pong ma-dissipate o matunaw itong LPA in the next 12 hours. Sa ngayon, wala rin po itong kasalukuyang epekto o direct effect sa anumang bahagi ng ating landmass. At yes, ma'am.
Anong weather system yung mga nagpapaulan sa ating bansa?
Sa ngayon po halos buong bansa nakakaranas ng improved weather. Wala po tayo gaanong masamang panahon o weather system na nagkukos ng widespread rain.
And recently nga po, yesterday specifically, sinabi nga daw po wala ng habagat. Ano po bang ibig sabihin nito? Mas malamig na at mas konting bagyo na lang ba yung inaasahan nating dadating sa ating bansa for this year?
Since wala na pong, kumbaga nag-terminate tayo na habagat, we're expecting na lesser na o mas bawas na po yung mga pag-ulan sa western section ng Luzon. So kasama dyan yung Metro Manila. Kung may mga pag-ulan man tayong maranasan, mga coast o mga thunderstorm na lamang po itong mga isolated cases na mga pag-ulan na pagkidlat pagkulog. At ibig sabihin po niyan, papunta na po tayo sa amihan season. Sabihin yung sa mga susunod na araw o linggo, posible pong makaranasan ng unti-unti paglamig ng temperatura ang Northern Luzon.
Alright, maraming salamat sa iyo, weather forecaster Lori De La Cruz. Now, libo-libong teacher ang nakapag-avail ng free check-up at exercise session sa kauna-unahang Holistic and Wellness Festival ng MWell nitong weekend. Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Ivan Tarinque.
Mahirap mag-isang guro, hectic ang schedule, kaya minsan napapabayaan nila ang kanilang kalusugan. Kaya naman dinaos ng MWell ang kauna-unahang Holistic Health and Wellness Festival para sa mga guro nitong weekend. Napuno ang Inari Sports Arena ng mga game na game at ready to relax na mga guro nitong linggo. Ginanap kasi ang kauna-unahang Holistic Health and Wellness Festival ng MWell at Gabay Guro. Ang target ng event na ito ay mapanatiling healthy ang mga guro sa kabila ng kanilang matinding schedule.
We want the teachers to be healthy and well para they can go to school every day, the teachers, students.
Maraming booths din ang naikutan ng mga dumalo mula sa booth na pwede magpa-check up ng blood sugar level hanggang sa massage booth. Kaya naman, sinulit na iyan ng mga gurong pumunta. Minsan na lang daw kasi sila makapag-relax.
Nakapag-relax naman. Ito ay malaking bagay para sa amin dahil kahit paano, kahit isang araw, wala kami iniisip tungkol sa school.
Hindi lang booths ang meron dito. Nagkaroon din ng dance o Zumba session para kina teacher. Kaya naman, enjoy na enjoy at nabawasan ang stress mula sa trabaho. Minsan, sa sobrang hectic ng trabaho, nakakalimutan na nating alagaan ang ating sarili. Kung ang robot nga, kailangan pagpahingahin. Tayong mga tao pa kaya? Mobile Journal Event Tarinque po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Today is the last day of COC filing for the 2025 midterm elections. Let's get updates on the ground from One News anchor Pauline Versosa. Pauline, sino-sino na ba ang nag-file at mga inaasahan pa nating maghahain ng kanilang COC today?
Yes, Angela, good morning. This is the 8th and final day na nga ng filing of certificates of candidacy for the 2025 midterm elections. And as of 9:20 this morning, a few individuals have already filed their candidacies. Isa na nga dyan, o yung pinakauna rin, the earliest today is Peter Advincula, o mas kilala raw bilang Bicoy. He is gunning for a Senate seat and is running as an independent candidate. This is actually the second time that Bicoy is gunning for a national position. And the first time was back in the 2019 midterm elections. Pero sabi niya, he's taking another shot at the midterm elections because he wants to push for reforms in the correction system, and that includes promoting and having a therapeutic environment daw para sa mga PDL o itong mga persons deprived of liberty. Pero important rin to note, itong si Advincula is actually facing a conviction. Isa siyang whistleblower at na-charge siya. He was found guilty for perjury. Pero sabi ni Advincula, he maintains his innocence and dinagdag niya na dapat raw siyang iboto dahil hindi raw siya trapo, and he is a new leader, a bagong leader na may paninindigan. Aside from itong si Bicoy, may ilan din mga party list na naghain na ng kanilang mga kona. Isa na dyan ay ang Kababaihan party list. They were led by their first nominee, Quezon City Councilor Kate Galang Joseteng. Itong Kababaihan party list, actually sila na yung ikatlong party list that focuses on women's rights, but still they are pushing for the inclusion of women, especially promoting an economy that will welcome and create more job opportunities for women, as well as focusing on women's health. May ilan ding individual na nag-file for senator, for party list na rin, pero hindi na rin sila nagpaunlakan ng interview sa kanilang paghain ng kandidatura. Just a few moments ago, nag-file din ng CONA, ang United Frontliners Party List. They are eyeing a Congress seat and they're seeking to represent mga uniformed personnel. So far, yan pa lang mga nakapag-file this morning, pero gaya nga ng sinabi natin kanina sa 8 AM show natin, naasahan natin Kiko Pangilinan magpa-file ng kanyang COC today sa pagka-senador. Angela.
Alright, maraming salamat, Pauline Versosa. Now, former Commission on Audit Commissioner Heidi Mendoza is set to file her candidacy for the 2025 midterm polls. Mendoza says she will focus on the monitoring of budget utilization. Here's an excerpt from her interview on Storycon.
Kayo nga ba will you throw your hat in the ring tomorrow as intimated to us by our Marites?
Ano ba yun? Bukas, unang umaga, ako po ay mangangahas at lalakasan po ang aking loob na magpunta po doon sa Manila Hotel para po sumali sa mga nagpa-file. Alam ko hong sa mahabang panahon, ako po'y nagsabing hindi ako tatakbo. Alam kong sa mahabang panahon ay pinilit ko pong gumawa ng mga bagay-bagay kung paano ako makakatulong na magbigay ng boses doon sa mga mamamayan na hindi gaanong napapakinggan without entering into politics and ho. Balit sa atin hong nasaksihan, ang dami-daming nawawala sa budget, ang dami-daming nasasay. Wala ho tayong nakikitang umaalma hanggat meron silang, until after magkaroon sila ng kanilang sariling interest, di ba? Kung hindi pa nag-away ang mga iba't ibang, sabi natin si Godzilla at si King Kong, hindi natin makikita kung anong nangyari. Hindi mapapag-usapan ng mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Kaya ho, matapos ho yung medyo urong-sulong na pagdedesisyon, nag-iipon po ako ng lakas dahil hindi ko po matanggap na sinasabing, ito yung sistema natin ng eleksyon. Pera-pera lang yan. Tapos, ako po, all my life, 27 years po ako nagbabantay ng pera ng bayan. Hindi ko po matanggap na yung pinaka-sensitibong pagpili ng dapat mamumuno sa atin ay dadaanin natin sa pera-pera lang. At parang resign na rin po yung lahat na kung sino ang sikat, kung sino yung kilala, kung sino yung may pera, siya po yung tumatakbo. Tuntok man sa buwan ng aking pong katanungan. Asan yung mga matitino? Asan yung mga mabubuti? Asan yung mga sinasabi nating qualified? Takot ba tayong masiraan? Takot ba tayong kilatisin? At yung takot ba yon ay magiging sapat upang pigilan natin, upang isa-isang tabi natin yung ating paghahangad na kahit minsan makapagbigay tayo ng statement, hindi lahat ay masaya dito sa mga pangyayaring ito. At gusto ko rin sabihin, hindi lahat ay nadadaan sa pera. So, mangangahas po ako bukas dahil alam ko po, wala man akong pera, wala rin ako sigurong political party, pero mayaman po ako sa karanasan pagdating sa pagbabantay kung paano ginagastos ang pera ng bayan.
And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro, Year One News.